Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Friday, September 13th, 2013. Not a good day if you're superstitious. It's also not a good day if you live out in Boulder, Colorado and in the Denver area. The whole area has been struck by flash flooding and heavy rain still continues to fall. Authorities have called on thousands of people to evacuate the city of Boulder as well as a number of small towns nearby. Also, Applied Insurance research is reporting that the flash floods in northern Colorado have caused serious damage within the cities of Boulder and parts of Denver. They continue to be considered at high risk. According to AIR, essentially all water bodies in these areas, including ditches, canals, and streams, are at capacity, with many of them already at flood levels. Several roads have been washed away, while some highways have been blocked due to landslides. There have also been reports of collapsed homes. This is a still developing story. Yesterday afternoon and into the evening here in New Jersey, there was a 10-alarm fire in the shore community of Seaside Park. Seaside Park was destroyed virtually by Superstorm Sandy less than a year ago, and because of intensive efforts and government aid, the shop owners were able to restore their businesses and rebuild the entire boardwalk in time for this summer season. Just in May, Prince Harry of England visited Seaside Park a day or two before the summer season was to open, and only hours after the rebuilding had occurred. The 10-alarm fire last night apparently destroyed 32 businesses in the Seaside Park portion of the town and also destroyed a vast stretch of boardwalk. The fire is still smoldering today. Governor Christie appeared there last night, and it's a devastating effect for this particular area. I guess they're going to try to rebuild again, they're saying that, but the TV footage is really just like Armageddon-like. Mike McGavick, the CEO of XL Group, is back on this point. He sees the gap between economic losses and insured losses as a huge opportunity, and he urges insurers to stay relevant by addressing the evolving needs of clients to try to produce products that will cover those economic losses. McGavick has talked about this in the past. I happen to think he's quite right. McGavick says that the new Bermuda-based insurance-linked securities company that XL Group has formed with Stone Point Capital is in fact going to go after coverage products for these economic losses. You'll recall the 2011 riots in London. They caused damage, especially to a warehouse owned by Sony in North London. Well, yesterday, a court in England ruled that the police must compensate insurers RSA and Mitsui Sumitomo for millions of pounds in claims that those insurers paid out after the Sony distribution warehouse was damaged during the riots. The commercial court found that the police were liable under a law passed in 1886 called the Riot Damages Act. The law says that insurers can recoup property damage losses caused during riots from the police under the grounds that it's the police's responsibility to prevent such disorders from occurring. The court limited the award from the police department only to property damage and not to consequential damages. In rural Northern California, about 150 miles away from Sacramento, a very fast-moving wildfire that's moving at about 500 acres an hour destroyed already about 68 residences in Shasta County. The storm is under control now, but it was a sparking event that ended up quickly destroying those numbers of homes. In Geneva, Secretary of State John Kerry and Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov have agreed to meet again. They're going to meet later this month in New York to discuss the long-delayed peace conference for Syria. The Syrians quickly announced yesterday that they would accept the Russian plan. So for right now, any U.S. military action in Syria is off the table. The Voyager 1 spacecraft has actually left the solar system. This was officially announced yesterday by scientists. The spacecraft was launched in 1977, initially sent to study the outer planets, but it just kept going and going like the Energizer Bunny. It's now 12 billion miles from Earth. It takes 17 hours for a radio signal sent from Voyager to reach its receivers here on Earth. The craft is actually quite small. It's one scientist said that it's actually an extraordinarily impressive event, the first human-made object to make it out of the solar system and into interstellar space. Reaching the boundary known technically as the heliopause is an utterly astonishing event that this fragile artifact, based on 1970s technologies, can signal its presence from this immense distance. The plutonium reactor that's supplying electricity to the transmitters is expected to stop working in about 10 years, at which point the 20-watt radio transmitter will die. Voyager 1 will not approach another star for nearly 40,000 more years, even though it's moving at 100,000 miles per hour. Voyager 1 will be in orbit around the center of our galaxy with all of its stars for billions of years in the future, said one professor. That's really something. That's the news for today. We're back in New Jersey after Monte Carlo. There'll be more reporting on what happened over there next week. We thank you for watching. If you're superstitious, be careful and have a good weekend, and we'll see you Monday.